everyone will get the vaccine. It's just a matter of time. We have lived 1 year without vaccination. What will save us is the precautionary measures.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen, dear OQ community. This is a special podcast dedicated towards the Ma'an campaign. Ma'an campaign is an initiative that was done by the emergency management team to focus on the response of COVID-19. So it's focusing on the response and the precautionary measures and the implementation of the precautionary measures. Plus, it's also focusing on the rollout plan of the vaccination within the OQ community. With me here today is Manal Al Azri, Lead Group Risk Management with OQ. Welcome, Manal.
Thank you.
So, starting this podcast, we'll try and recap with our audience. Give us a bit of the history of COVID. How did it start? How did we as OQ get ready for it?
We started in February of 2020, last year, where we have activated an emergency management team, which consists of people from different domains in the business, including different business lines. We had predefined triggers to activate an ECC, an emergency command center. The predefined triggers were if the country goes to a national certain grade, if we have one case in OQ, which was the case. So once we had a confirmed case of a positive COVID-19, which was one of our scholars who came back from abroad. So that was our trigger to activate our ECC. We have then activated our business continuity plans, which were built based on scenario only. So we had a COVID scenario-based business continuity plans where we have sat with different business lines to understand what are the possible threats and impact to their business and what is needed to ensure the continuity of our operations. Things that were in the business continuity plans, for example, we have evaluated and reviewed the shifting strategies together with the experts whom are the leaders of the different businesses, and evaluate the shifting strategies and how to adapt to a pandemic. For example, if we had a shift of 20 people, we would break the shift into 10, keep the 10 in a green zone just in case the 10 had one infection, and then we can easily bring in the other batch to work. There were different strategies as well for those who went to sites. When we started, it was 2 weeks, 2 weeks. We have extended to 3 weeks, 3 weeks, in line with occupational health recommendation, as well as Ministry of Health and WHO specifications of incubation period, and other factors were all tailored to ensure that we have a proper plan that will cater to such an event that we didn't have, that we started with 0 documents before. So it was a lot of lessons learned. We went 80-20. We ensured, and the whole OQ was very agile. We've started with firefighting mode of ensuring, for example, the digital team had to make sure the IDS that everyone had laptops that they could work from home. For those who could not work from home, what is plan B for them, and strategies like that to adapt to the current.
Very interesting, Manal. A lot of people in the community, they may be not aware about the business continuity and what goes into business continuity. As you rightly said, shifting, adjusting, or describing the shifting rotations. So for those who are 2 weeks, 2 weeks, have been kept on another pattern. For those who are, for example, on 4 days shift rotation, 2 days and 2 nights, also had to adapt to a new basically strategy. You have touched, Manal, on the 80-20 philosophy of working, and we know that this pandemic is something new that the whole world basically did not plan for, and we don't have anything in the books. So we went through many things such as minimizing work capacity in the office environment, and as you rightly said, the shifting rotations, and we had to deal with curfews here and there, restrictions of movement and other things. So can you please touch upon those plans and how did it get in place and how did we action them?
So what we have done along the way is we have made an agile plan that could adapt to different changes of regulation.
Agility, yes.
Yes, exactly. And different stage of the pandemic. So as you're aware, the world has gone through patterns. We were not, I won't say lucky, but we were a bit behind the rest of the world. We were among the last to start. So we've learned from other countries' mistakes and also what went right and what went wrong. And we tried to accommodate to what's happening in Oman. So for example, like you've mentioned, the curfew. So the first curfew was a new learning for us, where the BCPs were also amended according to the curfew. For example, we extended the shifts, or we've changed the shift according to the time of below curfew. For certain business lines, that was not possible. So the government relations had to work closely with the government in terms of providing us with permits, night permits, permits during curfew to allow our employees in case of emergencies. We've also learned of using different ways. If the permit doesn't work, we liaised with renting cars to put a sign of OQ, and then critical workers could use those cars to go to their respective business line in terms of...
So company vehicles were readjusted, and we branded them basically with OQ emergency vehicles, and some of them with beacon lights, etc.
Yes.
So it was basically a collaboration between our security team and our government relation teams to basically facilitate the free movement of our business requirements.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we have done. And then when the next curfew happened, months later, we have pulled back those documents that we've used. We already have, given the BCP has a full list of who are the critical employees, who are the critical contractors, critical third-party contractors, and also technology used in such circumstances. It was easier for us to build on it. If it was a different scenario, sometimes the timing was different. And we've noticed as we go along that the dialogue with the government has strengthened. Previously, we had to house and we had to accommodate for employees to live in hotels closer to our offices instead of just giving them permits. Then later, the government have adapted to this and allowed the use of permit. Hence, we saved money and also we became more agile in the whole situation. Also, in terms of the lockdown of governance, that was also a new learning for us. And we had to treat that differently, because then we had to deal with the Royal of Oman Police, where we had certain people to contact in case we wanted to cross a government to a government. Those are some of the ways we've used to adapt to
so
the
basically utilizing all of the support that we can get within the OQ community that can basically make things happen with the authorities also.
Yes.
That the authorities are also supportive of the business that we are running over here. So we got the help that we needed. But with the efforts and the collaboration of everybody in the team, talking about the new learnings and the efforts that we had, so we had to work with almost every business entity that we have within OQ. Let us say the support that we got from our teams in the laboratories. We made our own hand sanitizers, OQ made, that are guaranteed with high specifications, and we supplied them across the business. The newsletters and the bulletins that we were basically sending out, and the announcement in a very short notice. And the facility management team, who are basically supporting and facilitating cleanliness and the hygiene rotations and everything else. Also, you touched on saving money and saving cost to the company. We have also modified some accommodations that we have to basically a quarantine station. So maybe you can touch on that also, and how was it?
Yes, Walid, absolutely. What we have done, we have learned that booking hotels for a long period of time and blocking rooms just for OQ has costed us money. So what we've done is we have transformed Manal Al Azri camp, MAF camp, to accommodate our employees and our critical contractors who used to come from abroad or who needed to be quarantined. We have transformed the camp in such that people could stay comfortably. There were TVs, there were Wi-Fi's, there were catering 24 hours in the camp, where employees do not have to go out or spend any money in that sense.
Wow, so amazing efforts relocating our employees to our own facilities that we have full control with basically all the necessities that they need to even work from those quarantine areas. since you took us past the journey of OQ with COVID since we started up to now, and now we can proudly say that we are running a vaccination campaign that's there to basically facilitate the vaccination rollout for our employees across all the assets. Let us hope that it's the final stages of COVID-19, and after we are done with this, inshallah, things will start getting better for all of us. So how did we plan for it? How did we start implementing it? And what is the rollout strategy for all?
What we have done is, before the Ministry of Health, MOH in Oman, have announced that private sector can contribute and pay and secure vaccines for its employees, we have already started the plan back in January 2021. And we've started compiling data of all Oman-based employees and critical contractors. We've started with, because of the uncertainties of how much we can get, we knew the figure we had, but we were not sure whether we will get it all in bulk or it will be phased out. So we started the process of prioritizing employees to frontliners and OQ community. With frontliners, who we mean mainly are people who work in plants, people who cannot do their work in office, so non-office based employees, and together with some of the office employees who are regarded as frontliners.
So basically people who do not have an option to work from home.
Yeah, we can say that. And then we've started sending lists to leaders, where the leaders would classify their employees to categories. And then we had those lists ready. The lists took months to compile. This is due because of the integration, different business lines, employees moving from one business line to another. We had some duplications of names, some new batches joining. So there were a lot of challenges along the way to get to an almost perfect list, which of course does not exist. And then when the Ministry of Health, the MOH, has announced that companies can secure vaccines for its employees, we went with a big number to cover everyone, regardless whether you had COVID, whether you got vaccinated from the government. We just went for the total number. When we got the number, we had two approaches to use. One was using the prioritization, starting with frontliners and then having a mix of OQ community. The other one was, if we get a bulk of 5,310 vaccines, then we can open the door to everyone to first come, first serve. So we had challenges along the way. We've requested for an X amount of vaccines in the first week, but due to the limitation of vaccines in the government, not just Oman, governments around the world, we had to go with plan B, which was to split frontliners as well as some from the OQ communities. This was very challenging, as by the time we had a survey, if you remember, Waleed, asking people whether they will take the vaccines or not. Starting with, we had more than 5% saying they will definitely not take it. 2 months after that, that number decreased to 1%. We ended up having people sending emails day and night asking for the vaccine. We just want to urge all employees to relax. Everyone will get the vaccine. It's just a matter of time. We have lived 1 year without vaccination. What will save us is the precautionary measures, wearing the mask, maintaining distance, not sharing food, and adhering to all the protocols that are in the company. Not attending if you have any symptoms, and this will prevent spreading. And we had outbreaks in the company in almost all of our plants and all of our offices. We've lived without the vaccine, so just please everyone allow time. You will get the vaccine. It could be today, it could be in 3 weeks' time. It's just when we get it, and then we roll it out immediately.
Okay, so the vaccination strategy is we have prioritized basically it's a mix of both. So basically the frontliners, people who cannot work from home, and the people who have more interaction with the other people. So some departments are, not saying that other departments are not critical, but some departments have more of a footprint towards the community. Yeah.
Correct.
So this is what we did, a mix of both. And the vaccine rollout is just going as per the vaccines that we receive from MOH. So eventually everybody will be vaccinated. The plan is to roll it out as smooth as possible. And alhamdulillah, one big thing, Manal, maybe we need to mention also, is as for now, we have zero waste. We did not waste even a single dose.
Yes.
And this is a very, very good achievement. And it takes a lot of effort. You mentioned collecting data from businesses. We know that this company is a growing company. People are coming into the company and some people are leaving the company. And we have batches of trainees coming in. So it's a document that's always dynamic.
Yes.
Things are added and retracted. But the team have did an excellent job in gathering this. And everybody will have his vaccine. The word of advice maybe you can give to the community regarding of rumors that we can see a lot of WhatsApp is going around, people getting some wrong information. So what's your advice for that?
Don't listen to rumors. Get your sources from the approved channels. We had a very, very good webinar hosted by Dr. Ali and yourself, with 3 doctors from the Ministry of Health who are working on the ground, who have factual data and based on approved literature. Please listen to the webinar if you have any questions. And then we have our People Support Center to answer your questions. We also have vaccination@oq.com. If you are in doubt, please contact them. If you have any medical query, please contact our OQ clinics. The OQ Occupational Health are there around the clock. If you channel them through People Support Center or the vaccination@oq.com.
Okay, so dear OQ community, Manal, thank you for your time, for answering these questions. It was delightful sitting with you, getting all this information from you. We want to encourage everybody not to hesitate, just to vaccinate. And this campaign is Ma'an to vaccinate. So Manal, did you get your vaccine done?
I've had it 3 months ago from the government.
Wow,
yes.
so no side effects?
No side effects and no hesitation.
Guys, Ma'an to vaccinate. Thank you for your time. This is Walid Al-Mahrazi from the corporate HSSE. And again, Ma'an to vaccinate. Assalamu alaikum.